Hey there, Diane Michael, Callan Group Communications. Hope you're doing well. It's mid-May 2020, and there's just been so much going on, and business continues. And I love that. I'm all pro business, and I'm very excited for the clients that I have because the majority of them, all but three, were able to qualify under essential business and have been able to provide their services and support to their customers. So I'm thankful for that. Callan Group Communications certainly has been busy, busy, busy. We're in communications, which is highly essential. So we've been working around the clock, and we're very thankful for our clients and the ability to be able to support them and their communication needs. So recently I have done a presentation on how not to be a digital dinosaur and also how to market through the economic downturn. And I wrote up notes, and I figured why not share it here as well. So for those of you that know me, I have done the You May Be a Digital Dinosaur presentation many times. I've been doing it for, I think, 4 years now. And I just think it's such a good way to get people to listen. Are you a digital dinosaur? I certainly am. There are new things happening all the time. That's why I'm so blessed to have an amazing account manager. Thank you, Justine, for all of her educated experience and expertise. She helps our team stay current. As everyone knows, things change. Platforms change, logins change, the way that you can upload to Google Drives change. There's just a number of things that are always evolving, and us as business owners, us as marketing people, us as humans have to learn how to evolve and to learn the new. I wish I had a dime for every client or person over 50 who has said to me, I really don't know how to do that. I'm really digitally ignorant, or, I really want to learn how to do it. And I always tell them, I don't really want to know what you do. You're an expert in your industry for that reason. Let people that are in marketing do that job. I had an associate a long time ago that wrote a blog about, I'm not a plumber. I don't need to, I hire a plumber to come in and fix, whatever is broken. Same thing for a marketing company. So although a lot of these things can be done completely on your own, we highly suggest that you look into hiring a marketing company. And when you do, make sure to, when you're checking out other ones, if they're selling you something and they're not doing it themselves, I would question why. Like, why do you get paid to post 3 times a day on Facebook, but yet you're not doing it with your own business? So food for thought. Anyway, digital dinosaur. If you are not contacting current and previous customers on a monthly basis, you're a digital dinosaur. I have a lot of newsletters or video vlogs about this. Capturing email addresses, capturing birthdays, capturing anniversaries, communicating with your customers. Now more than ever, if you were a restaurant and you never did to go, and now you're doing to go, if you didn't have a database, then how are these people aware that you're able to still give them food? If you're a pool company and you're not talking to them on a monthly basis, and a number of them are commercial clients, and you have recommendations on how to keep the pool open, if that's allowed, mandated, how can you let them all know if you have 100 of them, 150 of them? You can very quickly send out an email newsletter, and we highly recommend. Our server, Callan Group, has a proprietary server that sends out about 300,000 emails a month, and we are seeing from an open basis that 1 out of 12 emails is being opened. So if you only send one newsletter a quarter, you might not be seen by everybody every quarter. Certainly you will in some, but percentages are percentages. So 1 out of 12 is what I'm seeing. So the more that you can send, the better. And then if you aren't utilizing Google My Business, then you may be a digital dinosaur. Google My Business is awesome. It helps drive traffic to your website. You can make posts every day, every week, which appear on the right-hand side of your search engine when you're on a desktop. And it's a great way for Google to help connect you to people that are looking for your type of business. You might be a digital dinosaur if you're not investing time and money into your story. If you're not like Callan Group and you're not putting out monthly newsletters, or if you're not on Instagram, you might be a digital dinosaur because you're not investing time and money. It's funny, I have a new ad out in Gauge Publications, which is Orman Magazine, Halifax Magazine. They have 5 different ones, and we're advertisers in print because we definitely believe in legacy media. And our ad this month is like a bunch of sayings like, a $550 a month retainer is way too expensive, but $1,100 ear pods and a charging station for the same price, I gotta have it. Or, spending an hour a week on my marketing, that's just too much. I've just been scrolling on Facebook for the past hour. Like, you prioritize what you do and how you support your business. And so if you're not investing time and money into your business, you may be a digital dinosaur. And then you may be a digital dinosaur if you don't have a Google alert on your name and your business. So we have that for all of our clients. I actually just got a Google alert a couple hours ago about the National Child Care Association, who's a client new in 2020. Thank you very much, Cindy and Storm and everyone there. They were interviewed by the Daytona Beach News Journal, and the News Journal put it out on the AP, and it got picked up by USA Today. So I just got a Google alert that USA Today has featured one of our clients, which I'm super excited about. And the reason that they got called by the News Journal is because we sent an email newsletter to all the members and non-members. And one of the non-members owns Imagination Station here in Daytona Beach. And they contacted the executive director and started talking to her and said, hey, listen, the News Journal is going to be interviewing me, and you're the National Child Care Association. I'm going to put you guys together. So through an email newsletter of communicating, the client, National Child Care Association, got their voice out in the USA Today. Like, that's a huge deal. So the best way to identify where you are is to get a digital profile that's free from us. We'd be more than happy to do a digital profile. What that looks like is we come from the consumer perspective. So we'll Google your name, we'll Google your industry and your city, we'll see what appears, we'll review your review sites, we'll look at all your social platforms, we'll check out your web page and make suggestions. So it's a nice blueprint for you to be able to learn how to be as updated with your digital footprint as possible. And of course, you can hire us to do the work too. So we know that this has been a crazy storm in the past couple months. So from a marketing through an economic downturn, what does this look like? For those of you that are in the Florida-based area, which is where Callan Group is located, we have been through crazy storms. We've been through many hurricanes, and we have seen the destruction and the rebirth and the rebuilding through those types of storms. So a lot of us probably have been prepared with communications, probably were ready to communicate, probably had a plan of attack that has been used through the storms. And so that's great. But did you do it in a timely manner? Did you keep in contact with your customers through all the changes? And those things that you can look at in retrospect, you can always implement immediately. So what are you doing now? What is your story now? How has it changed? Has your business been able to support end users? And I mean, obviously end users, but like, what's the end user story? Who's the last person? I just said through communications on an email newsletter, the end user is anyone who's looking at the USA Today gets to hear about this client. So who's the end user with your product or with your service, and how is your story being communicated to them? And then maybe their end user has, maybe your end user has a story that you can talk about. Any type of goodwill that you can produce at this time, any positive stories is always something that we recommend to highlight. We are supporters of the Museum of Arts and Sciences, and I was speaking with the executive director there a few weeks ago, and he said, what a great opportunity in time to develop goodwill and to communicate with our donors about what we're doing when we reopen, and then keeping in touch with, they were doing different types of like videos about different exhibits, and they did a really good job. So how can you continue to create goodwill? Focus on your core products and services. Are you going to be highlighting the fact that you have products that are made in the United States of America? Made in the USA could be a real big opportunity for you to promote some of the things that may not be flying off the shelf, or maybe highlight that they are made in the USA and maybe they will fly off the shelves. These are things that you need to think about in your marketing message. Learn more about your customers. I always recommend sending surveys at least quarterly. Always remember to tailor your message and to tell it often. And then balance out short and long-term goals. I'm kind of running through this fast. I'm sorry. I just wanted to keep it under 15 minutes because, we all have a busy schedule. But if you want any more information about anything I'm talking about, I can certainly sit with you and give you an expanded upon version. But balance short and long-term goals. We really don't know where things are going. So future goals, maybe start planning 6 months in advance and not a year. And what does that look like? And communicate it to your team. If you have an office, if you're doing Zoom meetings or if you're doing in-person meetings, communicate your 6-month plan just so everyone's on the same page. Always be looking out at what's in the future. Are there holidays coming up? Are Memorial Days in a few days? How have you let your customers know about your Memorial Day savings, or if you're closed? Always be looking in advance, maybe not so far in advance now, just because things are different. But definitely at least 6 months in advance. How should I be communicating right now? We recommend newsletters, social media, print materials. Sending postcards is amazing. You want to create raving fans. So, what can you do to encourage people to review you on Google, to review you on Yelp, to review you on TripAdvisor, any industry specific review? If someone's like, oh my gosh, you guys came out and you serviced our lighting and you got us, back in business fast. And it's like, okay, well, thank you so much for the kind words and compliment. Would you mind putting a review on Google? Ask for it. If you don't ask for it, then only the most raving fans will do it. But if you ask everyone to please review you, I'm sure that you can pick up a few. What kind of promotions are out there from a co-op perspective? Do you have vendors or distributors or neighbors that are in your business that you can pull co-op money? And what kind of unique partnerships can you create right now? Do you want to partner up with a nonprofit or the museum or an association? Have you not been joining an association of your industry? If you have, you may be a digital dinosaur. Shame on you. Everybody should be involved with and frankly, I should too. I was in ad fed for a long time, and then I haven't, so I really should get back. Because I have to practice what I preach. Tell the whole story. Talk about your latest projects, how it helped people, not just directly, but down the line, like we discussed. Over communicate is always an interesting topic. Some people think that, it's too much. Some people think that it's kind of like the porridge. It's this is too hot, this is too cold, this is just right. There's really not an answer for like what is over communicating, because some people want to know all of it. They want to, they love to hear from you. I mean, I get emails every day from certain businesses that I need to hear from, but you have to decide what that looks like for your business. But at the minimum, I would say once a month at the minimum. How's the hair today? Is it cute? It's been a long day already. Live marketing. A lot of people are doing Facebook Live, which is great. Live videos have a 3 times higher engagement than videos that are just in a library that are pre-recorded. And you become the industry expert, the how-to person, like these videos. I mean, I'm not going to call myself an expert, but I definitely like putting these out there so that people get more information about marketing and get some tips and tools. And I like to put it on a pre-recorded video. I like to build out my YouTube library. I don't like doing things live unless they're actual meetings. And that's just because the more that you have on YouTube, the better, since YouTube is owned by Google. You know, it's a platform under Google, so they like you adding videos. So I highly recommend adding videos. Looking to the future, you may be a digital dinosaur if you're not already planning for post-corona messaging. And when I say messaging, I mean marketing. You know, keep in mind, Henry Ford once said, stopping advertising to save money is like stopping your watch to save time. Definitely continue to market and whatever that looks like for you. Always let people know why your business is unique. Keep your customers engaged with a thought-provoking message. Like, we'll keep you operating, or, you know, keeping you fed, you know, just like whatever your business is, come up with your tagline if you don't have it. Reinvest the money and time into what that might look like. And there's lots of things to consider right now. If you need a strategy, if you need to sit down and really look over a SWOT analysis, like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your threats, we would be honored to do that for you. My name is Diane Michael, Callan Group Communications. I went over to 16 minutes. I appreciate you listening. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Be safe out there.